Hey everybody, this is Rodriguez Jr. here, and I'm here with,
Me, Agent S, his sister.
and we're gonna be talking about our impressions about playing the Wii U for the first time and attending the Wii U Experience event that happened on New York this past week. So, to start things off, we arrived there on Friday, June 29th, around I guess 1 or 1:30.
Yeah, like around 1 or 1:30.
And we were pretty much I think third or second in line.
We were third, fourth, and fifth.
So yeah, we arrived there early. There was already one guy waiting there, and to be honest, that day it was so hot. I'm like, you guys
Yeah,
should go around stores and whatnot. And
cause what happened was is that like across the street there was shade, but where we had to stand and wait in line was like it was already 100 degrees on Friday, and with the sun it just made it worse. But luckily, a security guard and another worker from the Wii U event came out and told us, well, it was way too hot to stand there, so
so we signed in our names and such, so that way later we don't have to do it. And then yeah, then we pretty much, went around New York, Times Square area to visit some stores and look around.
and also tried to, go into the stores with great AC because it was really too hot to stand there and
Yeah.
it was bad.
And then around, I guess, 2:30, we came back and there's a whole bunch of people there already. And then they started giving out their own branded water.
Yeah, it like had the Wii U logo on it and whatnot. It was pretty cool, I guess.
Yeah, it tastes like water. And then, after 15 minutes of waiting, then they finally started letting people in. And then, we signed in,
They gave us our Wii U Experience pass.
passes and such. And with the passes, we could go to some booths where we could send pictures through Facebook or your regular email.
Yeah, the basically as you walked right in, there was a already a booth set up for you to take a picture with the Wii U logo in the background, and well, that's what we did, and then we
Yeah,
walked into the event.
we took a couple pictures, but there wasn't a lot of stuff to send over. It was two things,
Yeah, it was mainly just like pictures or
one where we arrived and one where we put on Mario hats and such.
yeah, they had like these cool like plush toys, like a really big Yoshi, the Mario and Luigi hat and gloves, and some other stuff like a Goomba or a
Mario block.
yeah,
And there's also some Zelda rupees and such.
yeah.
So one of the first games that I've played when I first entered in was New Super Mario Brothers U, and I thought that would be the first thing I play since later on probably everybody's gonna be hogging it and playing it all day.
And as he walked into that, there was a booth next to it for Nintendo Land, and I started playing that game first. To
So
be more specific, I played was it like the ninja game?
the Takamaru Ninja game.
Yeah.
Well, for me, New Super Mario Brothers U pretty much plays exactly like New Super Mario Brothers Wii. It almost has the same controls. And playing it on the Wii U Gamepad, it plays similarly, but what another player can do if you're playing co-op is by tapping on the touch screen on the gamepad, you could create platforms to help out your friends and such. And you could also tap on enemies to mess them up and make it easier for your friends to hit them.
Yeah, and for basically a Nintendo Land game, I got to hold the Wii U on the side, and basically I just kind of almost pointed it at the TV screen as well, and with my right hand I just started shooting out like the little, I don't know what to call it.
The stars?
Yeah, onto the screen, into the ninjas, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah. And I guess to say about the gamepad itself, it's surprisingly light, which I thought, you know, in the, pictures and trailers of the Wii U, I thought it would have been a little heavier and a little bit awkward to hold on, but it was surprisingly comfortable, and the buttons felt like, you know, GameCube and, the regular DS type of buttons.
Yeah, and what I actually liked about the Wii U gamepad itself was that now like the buttons and all that is actually a lot closer to upper. Like, it's not like the 3DS or the DS where it's like on the bottom screen. Now it's actually higher up, which was kind of weird at first, but you get used to it, and it's a lot better trying to use your regular game buttons like A and B along with the left and right buttons on the back.
Mm-hmm. And then after that, I played the Game & Wario game, which I kind of had some. Oh no, yeah, not to mention in the Mario game that I was playing. Not sure that if there was like some problems with like the Wii U units and such, but when I was trying like to control my character using the regular Wii remote on its side, there was a couple of seconds that I lost control of my character. But I'm guessing that's due to like wireless interference, I guess.
Yeah. Apparently, later on, I heard the game was starting to glitch maybe a little bit. Could have been the, as you said, wireless
Or it could have been,
communications and stuff.
or it could have been the heat too, cause
Yeah.
it was hot that day. But luckily, the place it was air conditioned, but still a little warm.
Yeah.
Then after that, I played Game & Wario. The game, it kind of plays like WarioWare, but it's a little bit different. But the game I played was the arrow shooting game where you need to hold the gamepad on its side and then you use the touch screen to like aim and shoot arrows at the targets. Although I was kind of having some problems at first playing this game since the lady didn't really clearly explain the controls that well. Like later I found out you could actually move around the gamepad to like, aim left and right.
And as he was playing that, I actually played another game for Nintendo Land, which is the Donkey Kong's Crash Course, where I got to look onto the Wii U screen, and that is a lot harder than it looks.
Yeah, I played a little bit of that too. Like, at first I thought, you could tilt it slowly so you can move your car a little slow and it'll be alright, but there's some parts where you have to tilt so you can make the car go fast.
Yeah, and there was just this one part where I got stuck and kept dying, but I made it through, and what ended up happening is I went all the way down to where you had to start using the left and right buttons, and that is really confusing if you're going really, really fast.
Yeah. But I look forward to, that game as it comes out. Then in Nintendo Land we played the
Luigi's Ghost Mansion game.
Yeah, that was pretty fun. It plays almost similarly to Pac-Man, but not exactly.
I think it's a good competitive game for, say, like people with a lot of friends and stuff.
Yeah.
And I think it's really cool how now you get to have 5 players rather than just 4.
Yeah. So what you had to do in the Luigi's Mansion game is that one player on the gamepad controls the ghost, and the ghost basically goes and chases people and catches them.
While the 4 other players look up at the TV screen
with the regular Wii remotes.
they try to basically, you know, find the ghosts and flash your light on them. And with the regular Wii remotes, as the ghost comes nearby, your Wii remote starts vibrating, so that's kind of like a hey, the ghost is around you. And basically that's what's happened.
Yeah, and if one of the players goes down, you do have a chance to revive the other player, but
I may say that takes quite a long time though.
unless you probably have more people around it, I guess you'll revive faster.
Yeah, but if the other three players are down and you're the only one surviving, I just suggest looking for the ghost, because you're just gonna waste too much time trying to survive the others.
And then in Nintendo Land, we played the Animal Crossing mini game there.
Oh yes, the picking the fruit game while four players are kind of like animals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Similarly to the Luigi's Mansion game, the guy on the gamepad controls like two guards,
Yeah.
like simultaneously. Like you use the both analog sticks to control them, while the
Other
other
four players basically try to run around.
collect candy.
Yes.
I don't know what the candy is for, but
I guess it's just like a little mini game mission where you're trying to collect a certain amount of candy, but as maybe you can see in our footage that
well, we don't have that part up.
oh, we don't.
No.
Well, as you can see in demos of the game, whatever, the people's heads get bigger as the more candy they eat, so that causes them to run a lot slower. So as the guards are like right behind you, you can also let go of the fruit or candy you've eaten to try to run faster.
Yeah. And they also had the Zelda mini game there, but they weren't letting people play it from what I saw.
And also, I don't think they were promoting it, as the guy asked me what game I wanted to play, but as I was looking towards it, it seemed like they didn't want to show it off or promote it, maybe just because of spoilers, or maybe not didn't get the permission to.
Yeah, I don't know, it was weird. And then, what else we did next? Was it Just Dance 4?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to play that.
Well, basically, it was kind of weird where they actually put the Just Dance game because it was near the exit. So
Yeah.
you can, like, really walk right past it, because that's what I did by mistake. But we heard that they were having competitions, so I went to, try it out before the competition started. And I won that round, so I was like, oh, you know what? I'm going to just try going for the competition. And let me tell you, it looks a lot, it is a lot harder than it looks. Because you're trying to move the Wii remote in the same rhythm, but you're also trying to do the dance moves. And it gets really confusing once it starts using two-player, like the other person. And you're trying to, make sure you got the Wii remote going in the rhythm, but you're looking at like two different things on the screen. You can look at the person, or you can see the moves before it happens, but I just suggest looking at the person. And they had a competition, but I had the crown till nearly the end where the guy next to me took it, but he was really friendly and he was nice, so I gave him good luck and he ended up winning the competition, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah, and then you got interviewed.
Oh yes, as Tony was playing Rayman Legends, I was with, our dad and stuff, whatever, talking, and I guess because the cameraman for Nintendo, he said he worked for Nintendo, was like recording us most of the time. I saw him always around, and they pulled me over and asked me if I wanted to be, to explain more about the Wii U Gamepad, so I went and did that and basically talked about Luigi's Ghost Mansion game, because I think that can explain, the multiplayer with the Wii U gamepad and the way one person looks on the Wii U gamepad and the other four people look at the TV. So.
Yeah, while that was happening, I was playing Rayman Legends. I never really played a Rayman game before, so I can't really compare it to the older games, but it was pretty fun from what I played. Like, it plays like the old side-scroller Rayman games, and I was actually using the Wii U Pro controller for this. The one that looks like a 360 controller. But surprisingly, it felt like as if I was kind of playing a GameCube controller a little bit.
Just more into like almost a Nintendo 64, like the rounded sides
Yeah, the
controller.
sides also felt like that too. And, it plays fine on the Pro controller. Everything's responsive. I didn't really get to use, like the right analog stick that's above the button since the game didn't use it. So until other games come out and that uses that, then I'll get to experience that. But as far as the game went, it was pretty fun and challenging, and that's pretty much it.
And as he was playing that as well, I went over to look at the Wii Fit U, and basically the players were playing like this lunge game or something where the player had to sit on the balance board and try to lean back and try to get the correct speed to go as fast as they can to try to get to the bottom and to try to turn back and forth. But I didn't see so much how it used the Wii U, but I'm guessing, like in the commercials and stuff, as you saw, that if a person's watching TV and you want to do your daily routine, you just use the Wii U instead of on your TV.
Yeah. And then in like the final minutes of the event, I wanted to at least try out Pikmin 3 before we left. And so I played a little bit of that, but oddly enough, when I started playing it, the lady handed me the, Wii remote and nunchuck, but she never explained to me how to play and such.
Yeah, it
But
seemed like she
yeah,
didn't know much about it,
or she was probably bored and wanted to leave or something.
yeah, I don't know. She didn't look like she was having a great time. Maybe personal problems, but as I was watching him play, I looked onto the Wii U Gamepad and it basically showed like the map and exactly like him moving with the Pikmin and stuff, but
Yeah,
we didn't get to exactly see what the Wii U does for Pikmin.
yeah. I was playing on, regular Wii remote and nunchuck controls. If you play, the Pikmin Wii version, and I guess the second game too, it feels pretty similar to those controls. Except now that I noticed that you now have a dodge roll command that you can do when you move and press the D-pad, which is pretty interesting, I guess. And so I was playing, a boss battle. I didn't really get to beat him since he had, you know, large life and such, and I was trying to use the metal Pikmin to like break open its shell, but he kept, eating my Pikmin up, and so I was kind of close to beating him, but not quite. And
Yes.
then that was pretty much it.
And we did walk around to see the Zombie U, but seeing
Yeah,
how it was a really popular game and whatnot, everyone was like crowded around there. So
yeah, and there was two booths for it. One I think it was for single player, and the other was for multiplayer.
yeah, but it looked, just like the E3 gameplay as you saw and everything.
Yeah,
And also, as Tony was playing Pikmin, I went to go try out a little bit of the Ninja Gaiden 3 game just because, the guy was telling me a lot about the game and he was like, you should try it out, even though there's a lot of violence in the game. But I tried playing it out and I actually like the controls for it. It was quite interesting. It's different, I guess, but in its own, unique way and whatnot. Like, you get to move around with the analog stick, of course, but you also, instead of using your regular A and B buttons, you used your X and Y buttons for quick attacks, which I thought was really great, seeing how you hardly get to use those buttons, on the DS and stuff. And then using both the L1 and the regular L button, and then using the left and right button together to pull out your bow and arrow. It was a fun game, The graphics were pretty good for basically like a Nintendo console. It wasn't your regular, Mario happy kind of graphics, more intense.
Mhm. And they also had
Batman.
I didn't really get to check that out since I wasn't too interested, and plus the game came out a year ago.
I went to go check it out to look around, grab some footage, but I can say it's, your regular Batman game. It's just using the Wii U, but in different games for the game now. Like, you can pull it up, to the screen and do all that. But, yeah.
And they also had Project P100, which is the game that is being made by Platinum Games, who made, games like Bayonetta, Mad World, and those games. It looks pretty interesting. I didn't get the chance to play it since that game was
also really popular. Everyone was crowded around it, surprisingly.
Yeah.
And they also, of course, had the sing booth, and that just explains itself. You get to sing and whatnot.
Yeah, but surprisingly, there wasn't a lot of people that was playing that game.
I honestly do not see how that game uses the Wii U, but
the game's pretty much like a karaoke type of game.
Or maybe it's just like Just Dance 4, where the person who has the Wii U basically can control the dance moves. Maybe it's something like that, but we didn't quite check that out, We're not interested in singing.
Yeah.
Unless it's like Nintendo music, okay, but,
And then that was pretty much it for the event. The event was pretty good. Everybody was nice. There wasn't no...
They weren't jerks, trying to show off or nothing. Everyone, I can also say, was about maybe older than 15 or 16.
Yeah, we only saw probably one little kid there.
Yeah, but he was with his family, and I think after a couple minutes that they saw, it was getting packed with older kids, I think they left. But the Nintendo people were really nice, and they actually luckily had the free water, but they also had their own juice kind of soda thing, and they made it blue, of course, just the same color. They had their own blue cotton candy as well.
And they had these fruit things.
Yeah, they had these fruit sticks or whatever that they put fruit on a little stick, and you could eat them off. That was pretty good.
And then as we left, they gave us these lollipop things.
Yeah, as we left there, we had it was a little decoration setup of a Mario game, and they had these different color mushroom lollipops. We didn't taste them, but I mean, they look good, so
Yeah. And then that was pretty much it for the event. I'm glad, Nintendo, I think this is the first time Nintendo has done something like this.
I heard it was mainly for, well, basically, backstory is, after the E3 event, Nintendo sent an email to, I think, higher ranking Club Nintendo members and maybe those who lived around the New York City area to come and check it out in its own special event, which is pretty interesting because,
it's the first time that the public got to play the latest stuff.
And it's surprising because when does a company ever, allow you to come for free, and they give you all these free stuff and check out something that hasn't even been released yet? It's pretty good.
Yeah. And so it was a great experience. Hopefully, they do something similar like this in the future.
Yeah, maybe with games or something,
Yeah, different games, or anything new.
But the Wii U Gamepad is really unique, as they said, in its own way.
Yeah, you really gotta, experience it when you first play it, and then it just feels natural playing games with it.
Yeah, it's basically got almost everything now. I mean, it's has its own touch screen, its
Yeah,
own camera.
the graphics for games is gonna be HD quality like PS3 and 360.
The graphics do look really great on it. The buttons and all that.
Yeah,
I
the
mean,
buttons.
I like the fact that they put two analog sticks and they moved up the, A, B, X, Y buttons.
Yeah, and they feel, they have a similar feel to GameCube, and the side of the gamepad kind of like Nintendo 64, GameCube type of feel.
Yeah. And like Tony said, it is light, it is not heavy. I can say almost it almost is about the same as an iPad, like the weight.
Yeah,
But I think it just may be a little bit lighter and more comfortable.
yeah. So I guess that pretty much covers our impressions, right?
Yeah, I can say you have to check it out for yourself mainly. I mean, even if you're new to gaming, I think you'll love it, and even if you're a hardcore gamer, I think you'll still love it.
Yeah. Alright, guys. Later this week, I plan to continue, Street Fighter Cross Tekken and all the playthroughs that I have left over. And hopefully, once I'm done with those games, I'll try to bring some new exciting projects. So, we'll see you guys later.
Bye, guys.